Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're unpacking a topic that is, well, it's on a scale so incredibly massive, it's literally going to break the way you think about money. Usually, when we talk about extreme wealth, our minds immediately go to billionaires, right? But what if I told you that entire scale is actually completely outdated now? We're doing a deep dive explainer on Elon Musk's wealth today, and trust me, we're going to zoom out and look at this in a way you have absolutely never seen before. Which brings us to a really crazy question. Is Elon Musk no longer a billionaire? Did he lose a bunch of money? No, absolutely not. Here is the hook, guys. Elon Musk has technically fallen off the traditional billionaire list. Why? Because that classification, the word billionaire, is just way too small for him now. Sure, his name is still floating around on the Bloomberg index, but the billionaire label, it's practically meaningless for him at this point. He has skyrocketed past everyone else to become a full-blown trillionaire. If we're strictly looking at the traditional billionaire charts, Larry Page is actually sitting pretty as the new number one. Because Elon Musk, actually, scratch that. He's not even competing on that level anymore. He is sitting entirely alone in a completely different financial universe. The guy literally needs his own trillionaire index. And the wildest part is, if you made that index, he'd be the only name on it for years. The next closest person is roughly $700 billion behind him. 700 billion. That is an absolutely astronomical gap. So the crucial point is, just take a second to let this number breathe. That's a 1 followed by 12 zeros. $1.1 trillion. You know, when we talk about millions or even billions, our human brains can kind of process it. But a trillion? It almost feels incomprehensible. We are not talking about a personal bank balance anymore. This is a raw, astronomical figure that until right now, we strictly used in global economics textbooks to measure entire countries. Let's zoom out to the global macroeconomic level to really get a grip on this. To understand $1 trillion, you have to stop comparing Musk to other people and start comparing him to sovereign nations. Globally, out of all the countries on Earth, only about 20 to 25 have an annual GDP over $1 trillion. Meaning, Musk's personal net worth completely overshadows the individual annual economic output of over 170 different nations. One single guy has more wealth than 170 countries combined. Just mind-blowing. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. Look at how his wealth physically towers over these massive economies. Taiwan, a global powerhouse pumping out the world's microchips, sits at a GDP of about $976 billion. Ireland is at roughly $779 billion. These aren't small places. These are incredibly robust, tech-heavy, powerful nations. Yet, Elon Musk's personal wallet is significantly larger than their entire national output. And it definitely doesn't stop there. Let's rapidly run through some more heavy hitters. Belgium, Sweden, Israel, Argentina. These are major countries, totally renowned globally for their innovation and production. But if you take every single thing produced by every single citizen in any one of these countries for an entire year, yep, it is still smaller than Elon Musk's personal net worth. Now, let's transition to a neighbor to really put this disparity into a relatable perspective. You've got Musk sitting at $1.1 trillion on one side. On the other side, you have the entire economy of Pakistan, hovering right around $400 billion. Think about the shocking mathematical disparity here for a second. That is the combined economic engine of over 240 million people, and it is absolutely dwarfed by just one man's bank account. Honestly, this is one of those jaw-dropping facts you are absolutely going to share at the water cooler tomorrow. With $1.1 trillion, Elon Musk could theoretically buy Pakistan's entire economy. Twice. He could essentially fund a $400 billion economy 2 times over, spend $800 billion doing it, and still have hundreds of billions of dollars left over in spare change. It's a scale of wealth that is historically unprecedented. Okay, so all of this begs a really huge question. How did this explosive growth happen so fast? I mean, this wasn't just magic overnight. We need to shift gears for a second, step away from the mind-boggling scale, and look directly at the specific business engine, the exact catalyst that actually generated this unbelievable mountain of cash. The explosive driver behind all of this boils down to one word: SpaceX. Musk's wealth surged because of SpaceX's historic $75 billion IPO. When that happened, the company's valuation blasted right past the $2 trillion mark. And since Musk holds around 4.76 billion shares, well, you do the math. That new valuation basically rocketed his net worth into the stratosphere and permanently cemented his trillionaire status in the blink of an eye. Let's move to and see how this builds, because to get the ultimate, most visceral perspective on this, we have to compare his wealth to a true economic titan. We've looked at smaller nations, but what happens when we stand Musk up against India's massive $4.15 trillion economy? This is where things get incredibly real and relatable. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the powerful visual breakdown. The whole circle represents India's massive GDP. And that 25% slice, that is one single man, Elon Musk. Think about how wild that is. His individual wealth is roughly equal to one entire quarter of the massive economy of India, a nation of 1.4 billion people. It's not just a statistic, it's a completely unprecedented picture of how global wealth is distributed today. So, where do we go from here? This explainer leaves us with a truly profound question. If one single individual's wealth can legitimately rival and even surpass major national economies right now, what on earth does the future of extreme wealth look like in 10 or 20 years? Are we actually entering an era of personal, individual economies? It's a crazy thought, right? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.